Welcome to Lack of One-to-One Correspondence in English. In languages like Spanish and Swahili, a symbol always has the same sound, making it easier to read words and on hearing a word to know how to spell it. This is called one-to-one correspondence. Remember the 44 phonemes and only 26 letters? English does not have one-to-one correspondence, and some letters have to do double duty. Here are some glaring examples. What are all the different ways you can spell the sound k? How many words can you think of where ch sounds like k? From what language do you think those words were borrowed? Right, Greek. And how many words can you think of where QUE at the end of a word sounds like k? From what language do you think those words were borrowed? Right, French. Now look at it the other way. What are all the different sounds that can be represented by an A? Because the British borrowed words from the countries they colonized, and because they themselves were invaded and words from those conquering countries entered the language, English is a hodgepodge of many languages. Kindergarten, from German. Pajamas, from Hindi. Ballet, from French. Toboggan, from Native American. Poncho, from Spanish, just to mention a few. Spelling patterns from other languages came along with the words, so we ended up with the IGH pattern from German and the silent final T in ballet from French, for example. It may seem like chaos, but these recurring patterns, called orthographic patterns, can be taught. Once you know EIGH sounds like a long A, you can read 8, way, freight, weight, neighbor, and so on. Believe it or not, English is 80% phonetically regular. As a fluent reader, you know these rules and regularities because you've picked them up without realizing it. Working by yourself, or even better with a partner, see if you can detect the rule embedded in the following words. You can pause the video to take some time, or if you are with a partner, work together. And now try another one. Again, you can pause the video if you need the time. Did anyone ever teach you these rules? No, but you deduced them from exposure to groups of words in your reading. Our 0 to 9 grade equivalent adult learners don't pick up and internalize and apply these patterns and need to have them explicitly taught. This is because the majority of adults reading below a 4th grade level are learning disabled, and direct, explicit instruction is one of the most important LD appropriate teaching strategies. Here is a list of some others before we go any further, and then a list of principles for good practice. Two more points before we move on to a scope and sequence of alphabetic skills. First, decoding a word is reinforced by spelling the word, and vice versa. At the most basic level, a student needs to be able to be shown a letter and give the sound, which leads to decoding, but also to hear the sound and give the letter that represents it, which leads to spelling. Therefore, teaching alphabetics includes the teaching of spelling. And second, in a class of 0 to 3.9 grade equivalent adult learners, one might find people who don't know the sounds of all the consonants sitting next to people who can decode two-syllable words. Based on initial diagnostic phonics testing, the class needs to be divided into two groups, 0 to 1.9 and 2 to 3.9, and a trained volunteer tutor found who can help individualize. Some of the content work can be done with the whole group, but the alphabetics needs to be separate. For next steps, number 1, find the Principles of LD Appropriate Instruction handout to save electronically or print out. And 2, continue on to the section below this video, which discusses the steps and sequence for teaching alphabetics.